Hello everybody, hope you're all well. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a new video. Today's video is a Q&A all about vlogging and all about YouTube and starting a YouTube channel. So lots of you have left me questions for this video and I also asked for them over on Instagram as well. So feel free to give me a little follow over there if you haven't done so already. It's Mr. Carrington or Mr. Carrington Home. And I'm very excited to say that today's video is actually sponsored by Canon. Now Canon, I have been using one of their cameras for vlogging for the past 4 years and I absolutely love it. So I was over the moon when they got in touch and asked me if I would be interested in trying out one of their brand new cameras, which is this one. It's the Canon EOS M50 MK II and I'm actually filming on it today to give you an idea of what the quality of this camera is like. I'm just looking off to the side to the viewfinder now and I'm looking at how well it tracks the focus. It's got focus eye recognition. That's probably not the technical term for it, but it knows exactly where my eyes are and it is keeping me spot on in the focus. So I'll be telling you a bit about this camera before we jump in, and I'm going to be answering loads of questions including how I built my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be sharing as much of my advice with you as I can. So if you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel, starting vlogging, or if you've already got a channel and you're looking for more tips, then do stay tuned. But yeah, this camera I have been using and it is brilliant. So this is the M50 MK II. What I love about this camera is it's quite compact in size. I'm going to insert a little bit of footage now so you can have a good look at it with me. But although it's compact, you can actually switch up the lenses on this camera, which is really handy. And it means that it can also double up really nicely for taking any stills. So you know I like to take my snaps over on Instagram. It also has a port for an external mic so you can get your sound quality really good. I've got a directional mic on top of it at the moment while I'm filming this. And I also really like the color balance on this camera. I've noticed that the color tones is quite nice. I'm not the most technical person as you can tell, but I feel like the skin tones on this camera without any grading are really nice. And I'm actually shooting now. Sorry I keep looking off to the side. I just want to see what I'm describing to you, but I'm shooting now and it's 6 p.m. There's not loads of daylight left in the day and I haven't got my filming lamps on. I wanted to show you the quality of the camera in slightly lower light situations. It's a little bit gloomy in here, you know, it's not dark or anything like that, but I feel like this camera lets loads of light into the lens as well, and so you can get some really nice quality footage with it. And talking of the viewfinder that I have been glancing off to, that is situated at the side, but I absolutely love the fact that you can rotate this one right the way around, which is really handy when you're shooting different things. If you've got the camera in a certain setup, you can position that little flip out screen to make sure that you can see exactly what you're shooting. And of course you can flip it around so you can see yourself, check you're looking all right before you start your vlogs. So it's really handy for that. It's also really handy if you're shooting any content in portrait mode, if you're doing anything for Instagram and IGTV. And I also love the fact that it has a touchscreen record button. So on this little flip out screen, you can actually touch the screen to hit record. So you can see really clearly where record is and you just reach out and touch that to start recording. So no kind of faffing around trying to reach behind the camera figuring out where the record button is. I mean, you do get used to that after a while. I could pretty much hit record with my eyes closed now. I have got used to it. But it's really handy to be able to touch the screen. It also means that you're not going to shake the camera as well when you hit record. And as I say, and I'll get onto more of this in the video later, but I'm not the most technical person, and when I'm vlogging I generally tend to just whack it onto auto mode, and I like to have a camera that is going to cope well with that, and this one is fab. Let me just do a little test as well with you now. You know I like to do my haul videos. Often I'm showing you objects close up to the camera, and let's just see how quickly this focuses. Can you see how quickly that's gone into focus, and then straight away the camera's found my eyes again. It's got that great tracking going on as well. So I think this is going to be a really good one for when I'm doing my hauls, so I can make sure that you're going to see all the products really nicely that I'm showing you. I'm so excited at how quick the focus is on this, because it really is so handy when you're trying to make that sort of content, that you're not constantly trying to, you see YouTubers hiding their eyes, and that is because they're trying to get the camera to focus on the objects. That's why we're often like, hey, focus on my mug. But with this camera, it seems to just pick it up really quickly. So yeah, I'm delighted with this. And I think it will be great as well when I'm out and about doing my shopping vlogs as well, because I feel like that quick focus can be really handy to show you all the objects on the shelves. So yeah, if you're interested in finding out more about this camera, I'm going to leave a link with more information in the description box. And thank you very much to Canon for sponsoring this video. Right, quick sip of the coffee, and then we'll crack on with answering some of your questions. But I'm going to dive straight into the questions in no particular order, and I'm just going to answer as many of them as I can. So the first one says, do you get a steady income from your YouTube channel, or is it dependent on the time of year or the number of videos posted? I would say yes, I get a steady income, but the income does vary. It definitely does change throughout the year. I think on the run up to Christmas, I think a lot of brands and companies have more money to spend on advertising, so they're going to be placing more ads on videos on YouTube. And also I think it can depend on the content of your video as well. And also the more videos that you make, of course, then the likelihood is the more you're going to make from ad revenue because you've done more videos basically. So yeah, to answer your question, it does vary, but it is also steady. Money will come in every month once you get to that point where you're monetized and you're making videos regularly. And then on a similar topic, a lot of questions have come in about this kind of stuff. I would love to know how long it takes to get monetized once I start a channel and how many views it takes to get paid. So how long it takes to get monetized really depends on how well your channel performs. So for me, it took me over a year to first get monetized, and then the rules changed, so then I was monetized and then the rules changed and then I wasn't monetized, which was kind of frustrating at the time, but I persevered. This was before I had 1,000 subscribers. If you go way back into my vlogs, you'll see kind of around that time I might have spoken about it then. So the rules with this have been set by YouTube, and I think the most up-to-date ones are that you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months to qualify to have your channel monetized. And the reason that they've set these rules in place is because some channels can go viral very quickly, but the content might not be appropriate for YouTube, or it might just be people trying to make a quick buck. So what that's doing is actually making people have to really create good content before they get monetized. So I think it's kind of fair. It is really just to stop people doing these kind of videos that are clickbait, just trying to make a quick buck. If you are looking to monetize your channel, it means you're gonna need to put the work in. Okay, the next question is, how long did it take you to start getting noticed on YouTube after you created your channel? Did you do anything that you think helped your channel to grow? It did take quite a while actually. So I started my channel and all of my social media for Mr. Carrington from scratch. And so I didn't kind of have any pre-existing following. And this will also answer another question which came in, which was, do you already need to have an existing following on a different platform, for example Instagram, to then get a following on YouTube? And I don't think that's the case at all. So as I say, I started all of my platforms kind of at the same time. I had a blog previously to YouTube. In terms of starting to get noticed, what I did was just make various different kinds of videos, and what you'll find when you do that is certain videos will rank, which means certain videos will get a decent amount of views depending on what those videos are. And when I was starting out, I found that kind of how-to videos seemed to do quite well for me. So I was doing how-to such and such. A lot of them were kind of DIY related, which was one of my interests. So when a video ranks, you'll obviously get more views, and then a percentage of those viewers hopefully will stick around and become subscribers. Sorry, my memory card just was full up. I think I might not be the best person to be giving you advice about doing a YouTube channel. So what I did was just keep trying out different kinds of content, I suppose. So I did how-to videos, then I started doing room makeovers and that sort of thing, and then I went into doing some haul videos and some shopping hauls, and then I started to do out and about vlogging as well, and we'll come on to that in a little bit too, because there's been lots of questions about vlogging in public. So I'll cover all of that in a little bit. But yeah, mixing up your content is a good way to grow, and finding your niche as well, and I'll talk a bit about that later too. But if you mix up your content, you're going to potentially attract lots of different people who might be searching for different things. So you're able to kind of do your own research on that as you go along, and that way you'll start to then think, okay, this video did quite well for me, so it's worth repeating that. If a video is doing well for you, do more of those, because then people who are coming back for that video are going to stick around even more. Another way that I helped my channel to grow was doing collab videos. They're great fun to do, and they're also a good way of getting new subscribers, because by doing a collab, especially if you can do a collab where you both appear in the video together, I think that can really help, because then immediately somebody is going to be seen on your channel, so all of your viewers see that person, and then you're going to be on somebody else's channel and their viewers are going to see you. And especially if you're doing similar content or content that lends itself to each other's channels. The great thing about YouTube as well with collaborations is you can, of course, do them remotely, and you can do them with people all around the world, which is fab. So it's a great way to make new friends too. So the next question is, how did you decide on your niche, expanding content to vlogs, shopping, etc.? So as I said before, I started doing all kinds of different videos, and the more you do, the more you see what people are enjoying watching, and you also get an idea of the ones that you enjoy filming. I think that's so important as well. If you're having a good time, yeah, I don't know, it just happened very kind of naturally, I suppose. Yeah, the videos that I was enjoying doing just became more regular. And I suppose now, I don't even know if I have a proper niche as such, but I have a few niches, I suppose. So I do like shopping, thrifting, bargains, interiors. There's a few different things that I do. Talk rubbish. Yeah, I think you just feel your way with it, and if something's not working, don't be afraid to change it. I often hear YouTubers say they're not happy with the content on their channel, they want to go in a different direction, but when you create a YouTube channel, that's your space on the internet, and it's your channel. So I feel like it's something that you can change if you want to, and you can mix up, or you can introduce new things to it, and that's the great thing about it. There aren't really any set rules in terms of that, but I feel like it can be a hurdle sometimes. So I think with niches, it's great to find one or two or three or four, and also don't be afraid to switch them up if you feel like it as well. We've basically got to keep enjoying it, haven't we? Keep it fresh. And the next thing is, I'd like to ask you, what type of content do you like making the best? And also, is there such a thing as a non-emergency banana? With me, when I'm filming, no banana is non-emergency, because I normally need an emergency one, so no, there is not. And in terms of the content that I like making the best, I do love vlogs, because I enjoy editing those more, I think, because vlogs are a great thing to look back on. And when I've been able to travel, I've been able to capture some real memories by vlogging. And so by vlogging, I'm talking about kind of out and about, taking the camera out with me, not a sit down video like this one. And yeah, just capturing memories and places and interesting experiences and being able to share them with other people. That's what I love about vlogging. It's just a bit more chill as well. And I've been doing more of those lately as well. And I've noticed that some of you quite like it when it's a longer, more mixed up, varied video as opposed to one particular thing. So it's always good to mix things up, and I think those are the ones that I enjoy making the most. Saying that though, I love doing my DIYs, but I can't say that I enjoy filming those the most, because it's faff. And collabs, of course, because it's always fun to film with somebody else and have a little bit of a hoot. So the next question is, how do you overcome nerves and appear confident? And I love this question, because if any of you have been around for the almost 5 years I've been on YouTube now, you will know that when I first started, I found it quite difficult, and I can remember filming my first video. I was by myself, but I was still physically shaking. I felt really nervous, which is kind of ridiculous when you're sat here on your own, just with the camera, but I still was just so nervous filming it. And I might even have a clip, so I'll try and pop in a little bit of footage from that first video. Hi guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. So you guys are before and after video. But overcoming nerves, I think it just comes with practice, and the more you do something, yeah, the less nerve-wracking it can be. It definitely builds your confidence by just doing it regularly. My other tips would be to always smile, because you just immediately feel sort of more confident and more happy if you smile. So I recommend doing that. I recommend the emergency bananas, obviously, if you're feeling a little bit nerve. I feel like having something to eat that's kind of calming, that's why I do have them. The other thing is, it's great fun. So once you start having fun with stuff, nerves go away as well. So you might get a bit of nerves, and I think that's kind of normal if you're starting out and if you're kind of that way inclined. But yeah, they do disappear. So the more you do it, the less nervous you will be. I've had a few questions about doing vlogs out and about and vlogging in public. And yeah, that's something that I guess does take a little bit of getting used to. However, maybe not as scary as you might think. And I would say if you're going to do out and about vlogging, just think about where you're going to do your out and about vlog to start with. So my first out and about vlog was a trip to Paris. Now that can have its benefits, because if you're going to somewhere that you haven't been to before, no one's going to know you, which kind of helps sometimes, doesn't it? Doing it kind of somewhere that's a little bit anonymous, I mean, vlogging around London, I was going to say don't go and vlog down Oxford Street, but actually that could be a good place to do it, because nobody will bat an eyelid. Everyone is so busy getting on with their day that they're not going to be interested in somebody holding up a camera. And I feel like as well, now it's become much more normal to see people walking around holding up a camera, holding up their phone. I mean, they could just be having a FaceTime conversation. We see it all the time now, so it's really not that much of a big deal. So if you want to do it, just get out there and do it. Yeah, if you're just starting out with it, you could always just go to a quiet side street. You can find a quiet corner somewhere. So even if you're somewhere very busy, actually, say if you're on a town square or a city, I don't know, big market or something, if you take yourself off into a corner of that space, you can then have the camera out in front of you. You can be against a brick wall, so no one's really seeing what you're up to, but then you've got all the busyness behind you. So it can still give the effect of, obviously you're out and about, you're vlogging in public, but you're actually just kind of stood up against a brick wall in the corner, and no one can really notice what you're doing, if that makes sense. Whereas if you've got loads of people passing the other side of the camera, and your arm's sticking out, they're going to be more likely to stop and have a little look at what you're up to. But most people are just curious and have a little look, and then they'll carry on about their day. And the next question is, do any of your friends know you do YouTube? I'd be embarrassed to start if they knew. You get me? I do get you, because when I started my channel, I actually kept it a secret, so I didn't tell anybody. So I do understand that it can feel a little bit odd, and yeah, I just didn't tell anybody when I started doing mine, because I just wanted to be able to sort of really focus on it. If I knew that people that I knew were watching stuff as I was sort of starting out, it would just cringe me out, so I just didn't tell anybody. So you can always do that. I started out 5 years ago, and I feel like it's become a lot more common for people to be doing, well, not more common for people to be doing YouTube. Actually, I feel like it's become a lot more common for people of all ages to be doing YouTube as well. I feel like maybe before it was looked upon as a bit of maybe like a teenager's hobby and that kind of thing. You just think of like YouTubers, teenagers in their bedroom, whereas now you've got so many people doing YouTube. I mean, you probably did have before, but I feel like that's the way the media maybe spun it. You just think YouTubers, teenagers, but now that's really not the case at all whatsoever, and you've got channels with people of all ages as well. So I think no matter what age you are as well, you can be starting a channel and putting some really valuable content out there. In fact, I think there's definitely some trends. I don't know the exact statistics, but there's a lot of older people starting channels, and there's also a massive increase in the amount of older people that are watching YouTube content. So never think that you're too young or too old to do anything, because it really isn't the case, and it is definitely not the case when it comes to doing YouTube and vlogging. The next question is, how do I come up with my DIYs? So this is quite a specific question to one of the kinds of videos that I make, I guess, and really I just look at objects and just reimagine them. So I just come up with them up here. I suppose I just look at things in store usually, and I just see a shape or see something and just imagine it to be something else. The other thing that I will often do is go to shops that I like. So I'll go into like the posh homeware shops, and I'll see an object then, and I'll think, how can I make that but cheaper? And that's kind of how I figure out how to do my DIYs. The next question is, do you check out what other YouTubers are doing to keep updated on what's trending? Now, trending videos isn't really something that I've ever tapped into particularly. I think I've done a couple of only eating a certain food from like a certain shop in 24 hours in the past, that they can be really good. I should have said this earlier, in terms of getting noticed. I believe that there are ways that you can kind of jump on a trend, and then you might get subscribers from jumping on that trend. But I believe you have to be quick as well. I'm not always that quick. So by the time I did it, it'd probably be, yeah, I'd probably be doing like the what's in my bag tag, which is probably from like 2011 or something like that, and I still love making those videos. So yeah, I'm not really down with the trends, but you know, if you want to do a trending video, it's a great idea, because if it is trending and someone's video is on that trending page and then you do it, you might be on their watch next with the algorithm. So it could be a good way of getting viewers. So I don't deliberately check out what other YouTubers are doing in terms of kind of trends, but saying that, I do obviously watch all sorts of different YouTubers and videos will inspire me. Next question is, can I keep YouTube videos private so that only certain people can see them? And the answer to that is yes. There is a unlisted feature. So when you put a video on YouTube, you have the option to schedule it. So you can schedule it as to a specific upload time. So you know that my regular upload time is Sunday mornings. I've gone back to 8 AM, by the way, for any early birds. I just felt like I was up early on Sunday mornings and the 9 AM just wasn't doing it for me. But yeah, you can opt for the unlisted. And what that will do is create a random link. So it will put it out onto YouTube, but it will just be out floating around on YouTube, I think. So no one's going to stumble across it. And you can then send that link to other people. So next question is how to deal with haters and their comments. So for me, I just always think that any kind of negativity that comes in the form of hate, or if anything's particularly mean or unpleasant in comments, then that is obviously somebody else's issue and not mine. So that's the way to deal with it, really. If somebody's having a bad day and there's something in your video or there's something about you that they don't like or they want to have an opinion on, then I don't know, that's not really your issue, is it? It's their issue because they've decided to vent. So really, I guess the best advice is to not take it personally. Sometimes comments can be mean and they can be cruel, or they can be passive aggressive, they can be annoying to read. But then, yeah, you just have to think, well, that's really not about me, is it? It's their issue. So yeah, if there's people that are doing it repeatedly as well, you can of course block, delete their comments, you can block them, or you can hide users, and then they can just keep on commenting and they can vent as much as they like. And yeah, it just means that no one will see it, including yourself. So it's all a bit pointless, really. Yeah, but the best thing to do is just not take things personally, because it is never about you. You know, sometimes people do make suggestions, sometimes they're not particularly pleasant, but sometimes they are trying to be helpful, and of course that's fine. And it is sometimes worth taking on board some of those comments, because it can help you improve your channel or shape your content in a different way, or just hear things from a different perspective. But if it gets into the category of mean, personal, just unnecessary, negative, yeah, block, delete, ignore, nothing about you, have your emergency banana, maybe a small gin and tonic if you feel like it, get on with your day. The next question is, what did you do wrong when you first started? And this is from somebody who's just starting out. So I think a really common mistake, well, is it a mistake? I'm not sure, but this is what I think I did kind of wrong at the beginning. And it's really simple, and it is just overcomplicating your content and sort of trying to run before you can walk kind of thing with YouTube. So there's so much to learn when you're starting your channel that I think it's a really good idea when you're first starting out to keep videos quite simple. If you haven't picked up all of your editing techniques yet, if you're not familiar with shooting, if you're not that comfortable with how you are on camera yet, keep things simple and then just keep practicing and develop as you go. I see a lot of people starting a YouTube channel and they go straight in for like all the gloss. They've got a drone going on, they've booked in a crew for half a day, and they don't quite know what their content is yet. So it's kind of like they're way ahead, I think, in terms of that. So I think just take it chill. There's no harm in starting out with quite sort of simple, basic videos. I mean, mine is still quite simple and basic, so, but you know what I'm saying? It's, yeah, why give yourself all of that headache when you're just starting out if you're trying to do everything too fancy? And also with YouTube, let's be real here, having the best editing software, having a drone flying around you, all of those things, those do not equal views and subscribers. It is really all about the content. You've got to get that right first, and then everything else you can kind of build upon from there. But you've got to think, really focus on your content first. What is it that you're putting out there? What is it about you that's different, or what is it about your content that people are going to watch? What are you offering to people that are coming to your channel that's going to make them want to stick around and keep watching more? And I've had quite a few questions about kit, about technology, about editing. And in terms of the other equipment that I think you will need, I'd say one of the most important ones would be, first of all, a tripod. And that's just so that you can angle your camera to the correct position and get it to the correct height. You can pick these up really reasonably, and you can even get like teeny tiny ones from the pound shop. Get a stack of books. You've seen me do it in the hotel rooms where I've stacked a chair on top of a coffee table, a few books, and then an upside down mug, balance my camera on it. So if you haven't even got a tripod, there are ways to achieve the correct height. And then obviously with a tripod you can get different angles. One of you asked me, how do I just film my hands when I'm doing my DIYs? And that is just with the tripod next to me, I just angle it down, kind of like an over the shoulder shot, I suppose. Then in terms of other equipment, you'll just need to edit your videos. You could do that on a laptop or on your phone. Or if you don't want to edit, you could just have a go at recording your video just all in one take. It could be disastrous, but some YouTubers do that, and they've had a lot of success with it as well. Some people just like that feeling of having someone there talking to them for the duration of the video with no edits. So that can work as well. And of course you can live stream on YouTube. I've had a lot of questions about what the best editing software is. So I just use the software that came with my laptop, but you can use any kinds of editing software. Do your research. On YouTube, there are so many videos on all of these topics. So particularly with technical stuff, rather than me sit here and explain to you kind of details about how to edit, there's already videos that tell you all about how to do it. So whatever it is that you want to know, how to edit on my phone, how to edit on my specific model of laptop, how to film a YouTube video on this certain camera, all of that stuff is covered. There are people on YouTube who are experts in all of those fields, and they can just follow along and learn it all that way. There's no shortcuts in terms of things like learning how to edit. So when people have asked me, how did I learn how to edit? I did exactly that. I watched YouTube tutorials, I practiced, I made mistakes, and you just learn as you go, but you have to put in that work yourself. And it's really not that difficult either once you get to grips with it. So it's just spending that bit of time to learn it all. The next question is, do you have days when you don't feel like filming? And I've had some other questions as well about kind of like, how do you motivate yourself? I definitely have days where I don't feel like filming. And generally speaking, I have days where I just don't film, and filming just isn't on the cards. I find filming can be quite tiring actually, and there's also a lot of days in the week where I probably wouldn't want to put myself on camera because of the way I look. So yeah, I generally just set aside a couple of days where I'll make the effort, I'll make myself look presentable, and I'll shoot on those days. There is of course times where I don't feel like filming and I have to film, and of course that's when you think, right, this is actually my job now. So just like there might be days when you don't want to roll into the office or you don't want to turn up for your shift, it's exactly the same as that. So yeah, I take it seriously in that respect, and so even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to be filming when I need to. And actually there's often been times when I don't really feel like filming, but I've had to crack on with it for whatever reason. Maybe, you know, I'm just cutting it fine, it's nearly my upload day, and by the time that I've set up my kit, I've got myself a coffee, I've got myself ready, I've lit the candles, I've faffed about and put some flowers in the background. By the time I've done all that, I kind of feel like filming by that point. So yeah, it's usually a really good mood booster. I feel like going to the gym, I suppose. Sometimes you don't feel like doing it beforehand, but then quick sip of the coffee and we're off. And the last question I'm going to answer in this video is, how has YouTube and social media changed or impacted on your life? Do you get recognized now? So I love this question because YouTube and vlogging has had such a positive impact on my life in so many different ways that I can't recommend doing it enough. So if you are watching this video and you're thinking, oh, I fancy starting a YouTube channel, oh, I fancy doing a bit of vlogging, I really highly recommend that you just bite the bullet and crack on with it. I think one of the main positives for me is how much it's boosted my confidence. Another way that it's really impacted my life is obviously the amazing friends that I've made through doing YouTube. Some of my best friends now I have met on YouTube through doing videos, and that is just brilliant. And it's so nice to have friends who do the same hobby as me and also now the same job as me. And I guess that's the next stage of how it's impacted my life, because obviously this is now a big part of my career and actually a job that I'm incredibly proud to be doing. You see on these kind of lists where they ask kids what their sort of top jobs are, and being a YouTuber is high up on the list. I feel like the traditional media can bash these sort of jobs, I suppose, a little bit. I'm delighted to be doing it as part of my job, and it has actually led me on to get more kind of career opportunities as well. So through doing YouTube, I got castings for the TV shows that I'm doing now. They came in from producers who'd seen my videos, and they then invited me to do screen tests for both of the TV programs that I'm working on. So it is incredible how putting yourself out there can bring you opportunities. I also just feel like I am connected to so many people who are supportive as well. So All of you who leave me comments, who do the thumbs up, who've subscribed, who are returning viewers, I recognise all of your names, I read all of your comments, I love chatting to you all, and it's just so nice to feel so connected to people all over the world. You tell me where you're writing your comment from, and I've instantly got a picture in my mind of where you are and what you're doing when you're watching the videos, and I absolutely love that. I just love how we can connect on this platform, especially over the past year, I think, when so many of us have felt quite remote and quite isolated as well. Being able to make videos has really kept me going, and it's been so nice to be able to continue to do that. So yeah, I'd say overall the impact has been really positive. And yeah, in terms of getting recognised, no, not really. Very, very occasionally somebody will say hello, which is lovely, but yeah, not really. So yeah, that is it for today's video. If you have any further questions, you can feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll try to answer any that I haven't covered down there. Or maybe I'll do another of these videos in the future if you found it useful. If you did, do give it a little thumbs up. And if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, make sure you let me know as well. Do tell me about that in the comments down below, and good luck with it if you do. But yeah, don't forget, if you are new here, do click subscribe for new videos every single week, and don't forget you can always catch me over on Instagram. It's Mr. Carrington or Mr. Carrington Home. Thank you again so much to Canon for sponsoring today's video. I'll leave more information in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.